Delighted now to be joined by Kilkerrin-Clonberne lady football manager Willie Ward. And Willie, similar enough to the semi-final, this is an occasion you're used to heading into this weekend?
Yes, we are, though a different opposition again in the final and a team we haven't played before. So it is a bit new in that respect, but I mean the day and everything goes on the day is pretty familiar to us, all right. So we'll be ready for all of that, and hopefully we'll also be ready for money glass. But you never know on the day what's going to happen in that regard.
What did you make of the performance, I suppose, in that semi-final against Cumber Rangers, where you defeated them 111 to 3 points?
Yeah, we were quite happy with that. We suspected that they would play defensive, travelling away with the team against a team that had the powers that we have, but then again they were playing defensive. They with the wind, so they weren't really going to score a lot from the went against the wind, and that's the way it turned out. They did defend very very tight and big numbers, and the wind made it difficult for us. So we had a few poor shot selections early on in the game in the first 15 minutes, but then we improved that towards the end of the first half. And in the second half, then when we turned around with the wind, we soon got control of the result early on. And I think once we went to about 5 or 6 up, the result has gone beyond doubt at that stage, But they did, they tried very hard. They tried what we did expect they would do, and they were relatively successful at it for a while. But it's very hard to keep that up for a full game. And when you do fall behind, then you don't have a plan for getting back into the game,
You mentioned when we were chatting last, Willie, it was obviously special being All-Ireland champions at home. Obviously special to get the victory as All-Ireland champions at home as well.
Oh, yeah, there was a great crowd in it as well, great support for us. And, I think it was a great occasion for the people of Clonberne and Kilkerrin. And everything was so well done in the environment of the pitch and on the pitch itself, and the stewarding, everything that was done so well, and the visitors were there very well as well. So all of that, I think everyone rolled in behind the club and behind the team to make a good day of it. And of course, to see us get the result, and I suppose, the first half probably from a supporter's point of view was probably a bit boring, but they did get value for the money in the second half, all right, when our forwards turned it off.
What's the excitement levels like in Kilkerrin-Clonberne this week? You can see there's flags everywhere, and there's excitement building around the community.
Oh yeah, there is great atmosphere around the place. The people, and that's the schools and the communities, everyone, they're out there putting up the flags, putting up the signs, and making their hats and the ribbons and everything else to support the team. So there is a great atmosphere around the place. With the players themselves, actually, they're enjoying what's seen around them, but really they're concentrating on their own preparation and their training and that for the final. The players know they have been keeping their heads down, working hard, but I'm sure their families and everyone associated with them is enjoying the status of the team and of their families and their players for the last couple of weeks.
What's the turnaround like then from the semi-final to the final? Willie, can you do much? Obviously, focus nearly shifts straight away to money glass, I presume.
Yes, we would. Straight away, we were looking at the video of that match with Killkerrin and seeing what we could pick out of it. We had a couple of decent training sessions, but really we weren't doing anything much other than trying to get our football, sharpen up our football as much as we could. I suppose it was hard enough at times, but we were we are aware of the workload on the players and the tiredness on that, so we were tapering down towards the final, like we're having our final session now, and that will be just a bit of a game, a bit of a warm up and a bit of a game, and we leave it at that then. And you know, in the last 2 weeks, you're not going to get any better than you have been before that either. You know, whatever you are, and however fit you are, that's the way you'll be in the final as well. So a lot of our time has been spent just giving information to the team, you know, and trying to educate them on their jobs and what they're going to face on the day and what it's going to look like from their point of view during the match, you know. So that's been the main focus now the last 2 weeks.
I'm sure it's a question you've been asked a lot, Willie, but has the drive for 5 been addressed much?
No. Not within the camp. It's only one next game. That's the only thing we talk about, you know, and in any time we never talk about the result or what it's going to be like. We just talk about preparation for the match ahead of us and focusing on the players that we're up against and how we're going to deal with them. And really, we don't talk about results. We talk about performance, and we know if we can focus on the performance and get that right, then the result will follow, you know. But I suppose a bit removed from the team, there probably is talk about it in other places, and other quarters and all of that. And that's natural, you know, but from the management and the players' perspective and all of that, it's just this game, this team, these players that we have to be ready for.
It would be a special achievement, obviously, if they are to win 5 All-Irelands in a row, but it just shows what this group of players has achieved over the last few years.
And I mean, a large core of the team has been there for 13 years. You know, winning county titles for 13 years. And some of them probably haven't missed a match in that 13 years in the championship, which is an amazing journey for the team. You know, and you almost don't take any account of all the county titles nowadays, because when we're winning All Ireland, nobody talks about the county titles, and there are so many clubs that would bite your arm off just to get one county title, and we have 13 in a row, and the same with Connacht titles, and 10 of those, you know. So all of those performances, all those wins, all those cups won, you know, and such a great core of players that have stuck with it all the way. Then I suppose that is the testimony of the quality and the brilliance of the players that we've had, and the endurance as well, you have to say, to stay at it for that long and still be at the top of the tree.
Is the consistency the most pleasing aspect, really, from a management point of view? Because people might look and say complacency could be easy, but it's not something you associate with this team at all.
No, that's true. We do manage to operate at a high level in nearly every game. We might have the odd flat period in the middle of some games, but we never. But generally, that can be for a very short time, and usually it is when we're well ahead in games too. But I think the ability of the team to go flat out from the beginning of the game is, you know, to get into full speed early on the game is one of the telling factors, and that desire, you know, and the willingness to go after the game from the beginning. You know, they don't wait for things to happen or wait to see. They just get stuck into it very early. And I suppose, you know, with all the talent and that we have, and the players' ability and the willingness to fight and give every last ounce they have to win is probably the most pleasing aspect of the team, you know. You know, talent is great and we have loads of it, but it's very hard to beat hard work, and we have loads of that too.
On your opponent's money glass this weekend, for yourselves, is it just Ailish again, sidelined to injury, if everyone else looking okay for this weekend?
Yes, everyone else is available. Yes, everyone else is available. Everyone that started in Kilmarnock and all the others, they're all well. And, you know, we haven't really been too demanding on them since the last day. Thankfully, they got through the last day fine, and they're all in good form for the final now.
Money glass, obviously, you've had some big battles with Kilkerrin-Clonberne. It probably focuses the mind straight away when you see them knock out a team like Kilkerrin-Clonberne in the semi-final.
It does, yeah. bit of all complacency, on the part of the players as well, because they know when we look at how Mulligas have performed this year, but it's not just this year. Mulligas have been thereabouts in Ulster for a good few years. I know they had to get past St. Paul's in Antrim, first of all. I think like Cumber have been having to get past Ballymacarby in Waterford. But once they did, they proved they were a team with quality. And they have been at the top table in Ulster now for a few years. And then, they have added, two very astute managers in there, Maxie Curran and Charlie O'Kane. Both of them know well what they're doing, and they have concentrated on building gradually, building all the time. They are very difficult to break down, very difficult to beat. And, they've got the results. They have taken out Clonberne, who we would have thought would be potential finalists this year, but they took them out. We expected to beat Kilkerrin, and they did. Kilkerrin, we knew they'd be close. We expected that they would be in the game. We thought that Kilkerrin might just shade it. We weren't surprised to see that they beat Kilkerrin because we knew the quality they had. We knew the way they were playing. We knew the effort they were putting in, and their fitness level and organisation and all of that. That they'd be competitive with anybody, and we're expecting the same for ourselves now as well on Saturday. We're expecting that same level of organisation and competitiveness and aggression that they showed in all the games so far.
Does it make the winters a bit more shorter again, Willie? Obviously heading to Croke Park is a special time of year. There's maybe Christmas decorations and all sorts, and going up in these 2 weeks. Do you feel like it makes the winter shorter for you?
It absolutely does, yeah, because we're those what you call dreary winter days don't really happen for us at all, because it's when we're busiest. We play all those 9 matches in between the beginning of September and December. So it is a very busy time, and it does really does shorten the run into Christmas. And once we get out of Croke Park on Saturday evening, it will be it'll be the Christmas preparations then will be done. Well, I'm sure most of the girls have no shopping done, no presents bought, or anything like that so far, because they have been totally focused on the game. But you're right, it does shorten the winter for us.
It's obviously a special weekend too for women's sport in Galway. Obviously yourselves, Caltra and Athenry all heading to Croke Park this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. We had the same thing last year, unfortunately, and Down didn't win it, but Sarsfields did win. Caltra this year has been an amazing journey as well, and we wish them all the best of luck, and we'll be in there early. We'll be supporting them for as long as we can until we can have to start preparing ourselves for our own game, but we certainly hope. And we expect our own people to be in there early to support them as well. And I know our bus is going early as well, so the people can be in there to support Caltra, who have been good supporters of ours down through the years as well. So, yeah, it's a good day for Galway. Athenry on Sunday, they have to be in with a great chance as well. They've beaten the All-Ireland champions in Galway, and they've been impressive in getting there, so I'd expect that they'll be in with a great chance, and we wish them all the best as well on Sunday.
Finally, Willie, what would it mean to do 5 in a row on Saturday evening?
Well, we have to wait and see if we can do it. It's we don't think about it because we just want to concentrate on the game. I'm sure it would be a massive thing for the community and for British football in the club and Galway, and it would be a major achievement, but it's not done. It has to be played, and we have to keep focused on that. Not what it will be like. It's more what we're going to do is the thing that matters most to us this week now.
Great stuff, Willie. Thanks for your time, and the very best of luck at the weekend.
Thanks a million, Paul. All the best.
Delighted now to be joined by Caltra Intermediate Ladies Football Manager Peter Birch ahead of their All-Ireland Intermediate Final coming up this weekend against Knockbride of Cavan in Croke Park on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Peter, as someone said you were going to be in Croke Park at the start of the year, what would you have said?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, sure. Look, it's stuff of dreams, really. Like, isn't it? I suppose when we started off back in February, we were just looking at county final. Like, I don't think anyone even mentioned Croke Park at the time. But look, I suppose we didn't even mention it after the county final either, really. But I suppose any team training in December is probably doing something okay. And look, it's great to be in Croke Park on Saturday.
Does this show the strength of Galway ladies football? Obviously, Anna Down were here last year like yourselves, and now you're the second Galway team in 2 years to be back at this stage.
Yeah, no, I think Galway football is in a really good place. Like obviously, Kilkerrin-Clonberne are streaks ahead at the moment of everyone else. But I think going back even to the few senior teams there, there's about 6, 7 other senior teams, and there's a good few intermediate there. But they're all very much on an even level. Like we've had good battles down over the last year or two, and I suppose it just shows how strong football is in Galway at the moment. I suppose that comes from the LGFA and the Galway County Board and the effort they're putting in. But yeah, no, it's in a really strong pace. Like 2 clubs and Menlo were unlucky to miss out in the junior final. Like 2 clubs in an All-Ireland final in the same weekend from the same county. Like that's unbelievable stuff. If that was a lads team, they'd be all over the national papers. Like, so it's a great achievement, you know.
What's this week like now, Peter? Do you feed into the excitement? It's obviously something completely unique.
Yeah, so look, it's last week it was so busy with stuff you wouldn't even know of, like that I didn't know of anyway. And I suppose this week is kind of the same, you know, this kind of stuff and the media stuff, and there's training and there's physio and there's every sort of stuff going on. So it's just busy. I suppose in one way it's a good thing because you don't let the hype or the chat or the outside noise, we do call it, get to affect you or anything. So it's I suppose being busy is good. But look, it's just I suppose maybe from Thursday on I might let myself enjoy it and kind of relish the moment, relish the week and everything. But for now, it's kind of just about preparing and organising stuff and making sure everything runs smoothly on the day and doing as much as we can to help them women get over the line on Saturday.
What's training like this week?
Look, it's very light this week. I suppose you can see the elements. The conditions aren't great out there, so we're not going to benefit a lot of the pitch. But look, we done a bit last week. We done a bit on Sunday, but I suppose the work is done now, and it's really been done now for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You're not learning anything this week. We're just trying to fine tune things. Maybe trying to find a bit out about the opposition and improve on the semi-final. And those are a good few aspects we want to improve on, and that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of it now is just about getting the bodies right and getting the mindset and just getting the girls in the right frame of mind when they go out into a park on Saturday at 2 o'clock that they're going to go at it all guns blazing,
How do you look back on the All-Ireland semi-final? Obviously, it was nearly heart in your sleeve stuff at stages throughout that game.
Yeah, I suppose when I look back with a clear head and watched it, we probably made a lot of mistakes, especially in that first half. We made a lot of kind of handling errors and didn't really go to plan in the first half. With a lot of stuff we wanted to work on, and in the second half, then we kind of took control of the game a bit more. We kind of got used to their blanket defence, and we were much happier with the second half and our performance. But no, there was a lot of stuff in the first half we needed to work on, and I suppose at the time you couldn't even think about what way to play or what was going on or anything, because it was, as you said, such heart in your mouth kind of stuff. We kept it somewhat calm on the line, even though maybe the stand wasn't keeping it so calm. But the first players kept it calm too, and so that's what got us over the line. Like a last kick game free from Kieran Murray to win it. Like it's stuff of dreams and getting to Croke Park.
Just even now, like in an All-Ireland final this weekend, in your view, what's got you here?
Look, it's a numerous things. I suppose the main thing I think is the resilience in the group. Like we've been hit with injury after injury after setback after setback, and I never ever let them get them down or affect the mood of training or affect the mood in the camp in any way. Like they've been a super bunch all year. Like I know for a fact another team or any other team that loses 3 county girls at the start of the year and then lose their captain early on in the championship, a lot of them would flop and probably get relegated, like, you know, and we're in Croke Park. But that's a testament to the girls. Like they could easily lie down and say, look, this is not for us, this is not going well, it's just not a good year. And they just said, no way, we're going at them, we're going to win every game, no matter who we're playing. And that's, I suppose that's been the biggest aspect to me that I think why we got to Croke Park and why we're in the situation we're in.
All those players still remain sidelined this weekend.
Yes, but they all do. Yeah, they look. Oh, they're all long term. Like maybe now Denise, the captain, she might. She's coming back training a little bit. Like, but look, she probably won't be starting or anything like that. But she may be able to feature. But that's all going right, hopefully. But look, other than that, it's everyone is long term. So we kind of have the hand we have, and that's one good thing from probably the start of the year was we knew what we have going into the championship. Bar Denise obviously getting injured early on. But we've kept the squad then fairly consistent, and we've got no more injuries, which is great. You know, I think we've kept the same team now for the last 4 or 5 games, which is great for consistency. You know,
even the team, obviously, Emma Verini's obviously stepped up in attack, but it's given, I suppose, younger players opportunities to step up with the players you've been without this year. But this is obviously positive to drive the club forward when you think of the absentees you're missing, and obviously it's all Ireland final this weekend, but even for senior football next year, you've probably been able to give players opportunities that maybe they mightn't have got these opportunities if you did have everyone.
yeah, absolutely. Like you can be pretty sure that the 3 girls who are missing for county girls will be starting. Like, and whether some of the young ones mightn't get as much game time, I don't know. But it's just where the year worked out, and some of the young girls really stepped up and look. Like Queen McCabe was only 18, 19 player of the game in the kind of final, and Karen Mullins was super all year, Saoirse Murray was super all year, and there's Aisling Murray, there's loads of them there, the younger girls, and they really stood up. And as you said, they probably got their chance by default, but they really took it on, and yeah, they're going to be a massive asset to us next year in senior. Like we were only talking about the other day, we'll have one hell of a job to pick a team next year, and you get all them girls back, and there's a few girls biting at their bit to get in this week, so it's going to be a panel of, you know, a serious panel of 24, 25 to pick from, and look, they're headaches that every manager wants.
Have you been able to see much of Knockbride then from Cavan this weekend?
Yeah. So look, I think they were seeing as much as we seen. We got to see their Ulster final, and we got to see their All Ireland semi final. But yeah, look, we looked into them when because I highlighted a few players that maybe we want to look at or whatever. But I suppose our sole focus for the last, I suppose, 10 days or 12 days has just been ourselves and trying to tidy up the few errors and the few, you know, bits of mistakes that maybe we want to improve on. And it's only small things. Like we're talking about getting, you know, 5 or 6 more %, and that could be the changing of it. But we haven't focused too much on Knockbride. We haven't brought them up too much on training, obviously just who we're playing and maybe just a few small things about why we want to play. But the main focus for us is just ourselves. I think if we can bring our performance and look at the girls go out and play as well as we know they can, anything can happen on the day. But I think for us, number one focus is just focus on Caltra. And look, we respect Knockbride. We respect there's some serious players, some serious Calvin seniors players, and they'll need watching, and we will give them the due respect. But for us, it's mostly just focus on Caltra.
Is it something you're mindful of as a management team this weekend? Obviously, there's the Croke Park factor, and you don't want people to, I suppose, get lost in this occasion either.
Yeah, well, look, I suppose one of the big advantages we have as a club is a lot of our girls were in Croke Park last year as part of the Camogie team. There's about 20 of them involved. I think they were there last year, and I suppose I know they didn't get the right result last year, but they have that bit of experience of, I suppose, they're in the dressing room, they know the warm-up area, they know the crack about that the times are strict and you have to be out and you have to work on certain areas and all that kind of crack. So that's a massive advantage to us. Like, I don't think every club would have that. Obviously, Clonberne, who are there every year, seems like they have that advantage. But I think for us, that camogie aspect of last year is a massive advantage, especially coming into this week. And I think it probably takes a little bit of the edge off too. That it like, I know it's Croke Park and it's where everyone wants to play and it's brilliant and the whole lot, but yet not, it's still another game of football. If we played this team in Caltra, it'd be the exact same conditions, exact same result. So so that's the kind of way we were looking at it. It's just another game.
It's important too, isn't it, Peter, that you're able to lean on that this week?
Oh, absolutely, and there's and look, we are leaning on the more senior players and the girls who were there last year, and they're a bit of experience. And I suppose even even myself, like we were there with the hurls in 2017, and you're just trying to remember back on the day and what like where you had to go and what time you had to go, and the tunnel and all this kind of cracking. Even just the smallest little things that might get you over the line on Saturday. And look, you're asking around for favors, you're asking around people who were there before, and you do your due diligence to see can you get any bit of info that maybe that could help you on the day. But yeah, no, certainly we're definitely leaning on their experience from last year, and especially them elder statesmen as we call them, their real experience in the day. Hopefully that might get us over the line.
Have you been able to enjoy and appreciate this as a management team this year, the journey you went on, or is it hard when I suppose you're caught up in this?
I suppose, yeah. Look, it's yeah. We enjoy. We definitely enjoy it. We wouldn't do if we were not enjoying it. Um, do we enjoy all the organisation and the emails and everything? That's probably not, but that just comes with it. Look, we certainly enjoyed after the county final. We certainly enjoyed after the Connacht final, and rightly so. Look, you don't get them, you don't win them too often, so you have to go out and celebrate them. But no, thankfully, in our club, we've a great top table, and Dan and June and Helen. They're brilliant, and they give us super help as regards the off the pitch stuff, as the emails and the fixtures and the organising jerseys and all that kind of crap that comes with it. That I suppose people don't think about or appreciate the work they're doing. Like I say, June Marcy nearly gave up her job to the secretary this week for all the emails she had to answer. So look, we really appreciate all their work. And look, as I said, look, maybe Thursday or Friday I might be able to enjoy it, but for now it's just focus on trying to prepare well and get all the kinks out and make sure that on come Saturday that everything goes well.
What's it going to feel like to run out in Croke Park then when you do get that chance, probably around 1:30 or so, on Saturday, and have the culture support there and everything?
Sure, look, it's stuff of dreams, really, isn't it? Like I think anyone would be lying if any GM person would be lying if they didn't say when they're under 10 or under 12 that their dream was playing Croke Park, and whether it's be playing or part of management or whatever it is, I think it's the pinnacle of your career. And as I said before, you don't get these opportunities every day. So some clubs do, and some counties do. They get a chance to be up there more often than others. But certainly Caltra don't get them opportunities, and like for some players, this could be once in a lifetime playing in Croke Park. And look, for me, my once in a lifetime managing team in Croke Park, and look, we need to relish that moment, and I suppose not let the hype get to us and not let the occasion get to us, but really enjoy it and savor, because they are memories for life.
Finally, Peter, what would it mean to be All Ireland Intermediate Champions on Saturday at 3:30?
Look, you sure be unbelievable. Like I suppose if you ask the knock right manager, he'd say the same thing. I'd say, but no, look, it'd be super feeling, and I think it'd be brilliant for the girls. It'd be brilliant for us. It'd be brilliant for the community in general, and like everyone's behind us. The Caltra lads are behind us. The Hurling Club are behind us, and I think it would mean a lot to everyone. It certainly mean a lot to me. I know, and my managing, we put a lot of work in, and the players that put more work in than anyone. So I know it mean a lot to our group that we are crowned Ireland champions at 3:30 on Saturday, and Denise is walking up that Hogan stand. It's certainly be a proud moment of my life, I know.
Great stuff, Peter. Well, the very best of luck this weekend, and thanks for your time.
Fine, thanks, million for that.